Hello, and welcome back to The Conversation Piece with your host, Akila. In the last episode featuring Crispus Attucks, it was stated about Black American contributions regarding the defense of America from the British, the perceived oppressor at the time. In reality, another oppression was prevalent in the country, primarily in the South, in a form of chattel slavery, and Black Americans were risking their lives trying to escape bondage. They wanted freedom. They wanted autonomy of choice. And when given a chance to fight, some chose to fight the British, and some chose to fight alongside with them. Whichever side promised freedom, that's where they went. Now, would you blame them? Numbers don't lie. Historians estimate upwards of 8,000 fought for the country. The Crown had upwards of 20,000. Let's shed light on the one who, quote, fought for both. Known as a double agent, James Armistead Lafayette. James was born into enslavement and spent most of his life living on a plantation in Virginia. This would serve to benefit later in life. War is costly, both in lives and monetarily. States above the Potomac River found it hard to find men to join the Revolutionary Army, so the enslaved were looked upon as a source to fill this necessity. In exchange for their service, the enslaved were promised freedom. This exchange, in James's case, came with a twist. James' master gave him permission to join Marquis de Lafayette's French Allied unit. The war was virtually being fought in James' backyard, and because of his knowledge of Virginia's terrain, it was in this unit that James was used as a spy. His mission? Go to General Cornwallis's army as a runaway slave, looking to join their forces in exchange for his freedom. The British received him without suspicion. Mission accomplished. James now had direct access to British intelligence and freely went back and forth between the two units. James would relay information to Lafayette and misinformation to Cornwallis, who was none the wiser to James's true intentions, and because of this, James found himself working alongside Benedict Arnold. Yes, that Benedict Arnold. James and Benedict snaked their way through Virginia while James tracked the British movements. This skillful scheme played into the hands of Revolution soldiers at the Battle of Yorktown, which resulted in General Cornwallis surrendering on October 17, 1781. Mission accomplished. But only for some, as James found himself not a free man, but back in enslavement. The Act of 1783 only emancipated actual slave soldiers, not spies. This didn't deter James from seeking help from Congress and helping him fight for his freedom. After several years of disappointment, help would come from a familiar face, Marquis de Lafayette, who wrote to Congress on James' behalf. James found his freedom in 1787, 70 years after helping turn the tide of the war at the Battle of Yorktown. James not only received his freedom, but his 40 acres in Virginia, as a gesture of loyalty and gratitude of what Marquis de Lafayette did for him. James would add the surname of Lafayette for himself. Until his death in 1832, James lived as a free man. Mission accomplished. What do Spotify, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, RadioPublic.com, and Pocket Cast all have in common? Me, the Conversation Piece podcast with Akila. So go ahead and hit that notification button. Go ahead. I'll wait. All right, back to the show. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Conversation Piece Podcast. I am your humble host, Akila, requesting that you join me again. So, until then, be safe, love, and value yourself so that you can love and value others. I bid you adieu with the greeting, Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you.